Peace and love, family. It's your girl, Sixthegoddis. And keep in mind, I'm a goddess and I'm sensitive about my shifts. Hope y'all are doing well. I am doing amazing. I got this video coming today to kind of do a discussion on a young lady that did a video on TikTok and it has kind of gone viral, lots of responses to it. And we are going to break down what she said and the responses to it. The young lady said that she feels like out of shape women, specifically, she said out of shape women do not deserve to be in a relationship. Okay. That is what she said. We're going to break all of that down. And so before we break that down, can we break down today's look? Ladies, if you've been hiding under a rock, then you would not know that I have a women's only Patreon in which I get ready for all of my content live. And while I am getting ready, we have a chat going and we have group discussions, girl talk about all type of things. I show my entire process of prepping to get on camera, from makeup, hair, lashes, everything. I do not gatekeep anything. In my Patreon, we have get-togethers, money meetings where we discuss feminine entrepreneurship, recipes, things of that nature. We have group chats. We support one another, women from all over the world, all walks of life, lots of wisdom, lots of experience. So if you are tired of being mean and ugly, be ready to come on to a group of women that's winning. Ain't no victimhood, over here having control of yourself and control your future. Okay, you know what I'm saying? No loser stuff over here. Come to death row, baby. Okay, you're tired of people telling you what you want to hear. You're tired of people making you comfortable and being a loser, baby. I would love to have you. I also have a second separate Patreon called 6 at 6, in which I do a once a week live show. I discuss different current events, viral topics, different content reactions, things like that. And that's for the fellas and the ladies. And that is each and every Wednesday at 6 p.m. And it's a great way to tap in with me live. And come holler at your girl. Come join the Goddess Gang. So the description will have the links to both of the two separate Patrons so you all can tap in with me. So we're going to go ahead and bring up the video. Now, y'all know that for me, my style, I don't do the whole frills. I don't stroke and speak to your ego. I don't give a damn about making you comfortable and telling you what you want to hear so that you'll buy tickets to my podcast and that you'll buy my card game. I do not care. Okay. Beautiful things, y'all. Y'all see my baby. Beautiful things happen when you're not a money hungry influencer because you're able to actually positively influence. Now, a lot of people don't like my content and they don't agree with my content, and that is perfectly okay. It's not for you. Okay. I don't beg anybody. I don't hoard my content out. I don't post a bunch of advertisements, baby. If you happen to be drawn to it, if you happen to run across it, so be it. But there's a reason why I don't push my content on people. Okay. I have a community I'm building. I'm not looking to, just make money. I'm looking to build actual community. So there are certain things I just do not, I just don't stroke in other people. I'm not stroking your ego. I have nothing to gain from that. I like real influencing. I like to provoke actual thought, actual alternate, alternate viewpoints in things. So my theory has always been that this is the connection. A lot of women do not know how to have control over themselves and who they are. And they don't set a standard for themselves. Wait for it. Outside of men. Okay. Let me just, anytime you speak about being in shape and healthy as a woman, just you as a woman, the majority, because remember, 9 out of 10 just ain't shit. 9 out of 10, it's the way it goes. You are born by default, ain't shit. The way you handle things will be shit. Okay? And so a man's life mission is to harness and gain control over his phallus, his sexuality. And for a woman, your life mission is to harness and gain control of your underlying desire to get through life by manipulation, period. Okay. Not using who you are, not using your femininity, not hiding behind, I'm a girl, to avoid accountability and responsibility for yourself. Majority of women haven't even began to touch the surface on what that looks like. They just put themselves in echo chambers with other women who are on code. When women say, you don't understand the program, you going against the program, you don't understand the bigger picture. What that is we have set a very bare minimum standard for the work we have to put in. And we don't need no women coming forward raising that bar, because then now we all have to actually try. That's what it means. That's the sisterhood. That's the girl code. It means we ain't going to do too much because we don't need one of y'all outdoing us. And now the standard is set. And any woman who dares laugh at that bare minimum, any woman who dares say, I'm not accepting that for myself. I don't give it. It ain't about how it affect with a man. It's about me. I don't accept that for myself. But for too many women, and this is why the fellas have to share blame in this. For too many women, they stop trying at whatever level they get a man. If you say to a woman, you need to stop eating so much, eat fruits and vegetables, drink some water, put down the soda, put down the liquor, put down the huge plates of food. Why your plate and your man plate the same size? He should weigh about 100 to 150 more pounds than you. Why y'all eating the same amount? I can't tell your plate from your man plate. That's a problem. And the minute you say you eat too much, you need to exercise, and let's stop trying to. I've seen Black women, I'm not even joking, spend their entire online career writing video essays to the world about why them being fat is okay, writing essays about why it's still desirable, telling the world, I promise, I swear, I know they won't tell you this, but they do be desiring us behind closed doors. The amount of women that will spend so much time trying to, explain, I guess, their desirability. Honey, by the time you did all them essays trying to tell us why you can still eat and why being fat is not a problem, and trying to tell us, trust me, bro, behind closed doors, men do desire me. By the time you spent all the time doing that, you could have been lost the weight. Been fat for 10 years. You've been fat your whole life. Come on, you have plenty of time now. The truth is, too many women, in their mind, if I'm in shape, I need to have a rich, faithful, 11-inch dick, 6'7" man that has eyes for no one but me. For you to say you should be healthy and in shape, and for a woman to say why, because a man gonna still cheat, my brain started to do a little Kim dance. My brain started to combust. And it took me a while. Okay? It took me a while. I had to really dumb myself down and go to basic bitchville to understand why do they say that? Why the bit that you say, get your shit together as a woman, why every single time they say, well, where your man at? Well, he gonna still cheat. Well, he gonna still not get no money. And I be like, so you mean to tell me that you see no reward in doing the best you can for you unless it equates to a guaranteed result from a man? Well, that explains why you're all fat. It all made sense after I really sat there and took my brain down a few notches. I was like, that's why they don't see a problem with being big. They don't love themselves enough to see the reward in, I'm sorry, no, I need to show up 100% for me. I don't care. I don't control other human beings. I don't show up for myself or not show up for myself based upon how another human being responds to me. It's you that has to look at yourself in the mirror. That's why on my Patreon, matter of fact, I be forgetting to put this up because a lot of people, this helps them. This is why on my Patreon, when you go on it, what it says is becoming the best woman in the mirror, the best version of that woman in the mirror. That's the focus. Okay. And that level of control to where I'm going to neglect myself. I am going to be lazy with myself. I'm going to deny myself of discipline because I'm waiting on a result from someone else. First of all, you're putting yourself in an impossible situation. So it inevitably just leads back to laziness, that you'll purposely set this up to be impossible so that when it doesn't happen, you can say, see, that's why I ain't even bother. I've literally heard women, like, they'll look at another woman they got cheated on and they'll be like, see, go ahead, eat the pasta, eat the carbs, eat the ice cream, see? And I'm like, yo, that's crazy. And what I find even more interesting about them type of girls is they the main decenter man. They're either very decenter men or my man been around 20 years. And so they think, so it's either, they're either capping ass decenter men females who talk about decenter men, yet in the same breath, you can't even fathom doing something for you. You can't even fathom having the reward behind the discipline and taking care of yourself, being that you look in that mirror and say, ooh, I'm the best I can be. I saw a meme the other day that says, take care of yourself so you don't become a hater. And I was like, the truth. Because now that you don't take care of yourself, now you're going to spend every minute of your day sizing up other women, comparing yourself to other women, being mean to the women that do take care of themselves because they remind you of all the work that you're too lazy to do for yourself. It could be too lazy. It could be trauma. It could be mental health. It could be many things. And that's your problem to figure that out. Okay? So the decenter men, women lie and say, do what you want because the men gonna cheat anyway, which in itself is the most centering of men. Literally deciding that you're gonna be overweight, out of shape, out of breath, look a mess in clothes, gotta wear 18 girdles to look halfway decent. The fact that your brain can say all of that will be worth it, because if not that, the man's gonna still cheat. So I'm just gonna harm myself. I'm just not gonna give myself the best quality of life. Or to say that me being fat and out of shape is okay. Or to say, oh girl, you don't need to prioritize all that in shape stuff. I've been married 20 years. He's still here. Either way, y'all only response to, hey, as Black women, we are massively out of shape. When I go out somewhere, once I put this in y'all head, y'all won't be able to unsee it. Anywhere you go out, just start consciously paying attention. Look around the room at how many sisters you see that are in shape versus ones that are not. And if you just be honest with yourself and look around, you will have that moment of, all right, this ain't genetics. This ain't, they'll try to tell you it's health issues, genetics. They will try to say they'll try to say, well, Black women can't be at the same scale that white women are because our bones are more dense. That bone density only equates to about an 8 to 10 pound increase. So if at your height, a healthy weight would be 130 for a white woman, that means for you, it should be no more than 150. Y'all be supposed to be 130, weigh 230 and say, well, you know, as Black women, we're more shapely and curvy. Well, our bones are more dense. So don't let the white man, y'all will say the white man is the reason why you big. That's when I knew it got real. When y'all started saying that Donald Trump and the white man was why you big, I said, come on now, sis. You running mentally. Let's get some of that running physically. Get some of that running physically, it'll solve the problem, because the mental track meet is insane. Not Donald Trump, the reason why you big. Not racism. Not don't worry about the white man's beauty standard. Come on now, we ain't doing that. That's crazy, actually. So, you know, they'll tell you all these things about why they big, but the reality is you big because you just simply eat too much. All you do is go to work, come home. You go to work, go to school, come home. You don't care about what you eat. You eat breakfast, you eat 3 meals a day. You eat the same amount of food that your man eat. You sneak and eat. Yeah, you wait till nobody's around, then you go to eat a bunch of food. Then you go and say, I don't know why I'm not losing the weight. Just lying to yourself, treating yourself even worse, lying and gaslighting yourself, because your mind is stagnant. Because inevitably, when you big out of shape, I'm sorry, you're not as active. Going places don't feel good to you. You got to wonder, can I fit between the tables? Will there be space for me? Are they looking at me crazy? Do I look good in this? Of course, you're not that active. Of course, them big girls say, I like staying home. You don't like staying home. You running from society. Because as women, our looks hold a lot of weight. No pun intended. Okay? That's just the way it goes. And your beauty, when you care for it, That's the highest way to honor God, because y'all love to be fat in church, eating after church, think you're a better person than everybody else, and you don't go nowhere and you go to church. Whole time you hiding behind the fact that you running from society because you uncomfortable with yourself. So you sit there and try to tell us all a dream that I don't go anywhere, I just go to church and go home. That is not an accomplishment. I ain't never seen someone's funeral come and they like, that bitch never went nowhere. Nobody cares about that because you running from the world, because you ashamed of yourself. When you look good, baby, you're excited. Imagine going somewhere and you got to worry about writing a video essay about why you're desirable in that space. You got to worry about if you can fit between the tables. It's a great feeling. You excited to go somewhere. You ain't got to run and hide. All right. So when you just simply say, no, Black women, majority are big because you eat too much and you're inactive. And that's sitting in the house, only go to work, go to school, sit in the house, because you're not getting socially stimulated, creatively stimulated, because you don't have any healthy, accountable feminine fellowship. Now your mind is super stagnant. And since your mind is super stagnant, since you don't have the correct level of stimulation that you need as a woman, that's why you eat a lot. You're stagnant. And you're stagnant because you're not comfortable with how you look. Then you surround yourself with a bunch of people who hold up a man that's been stuck around them for 20 years and say, listen to me, because look, they picked the man up like a prop in their story. Look, he's been here for 20 years. Look how fat I am, see? So we're going to break down this, one of the response videos to a young woman who stated her opinion on her account. Okay? Stated her opinion on her account. And because she young, pretty, and in shape, now it's an uproar. And this young woman learned the same way I learned. That's why I do my content for women, majority in Patreon. Most women do not want to do better. They want to play victim, write essays, and convince and manipulate people into accepting them. They want to surround themselves with women who will lie to them and say, you're beautiful, you're gorgeous, you're just thick, you're just big bone. That's what they want. They want spaces that make them comfortable in their mediocrity, spaces with bare minimum standards so that they don't have to do any work, because women equate work and having to earn something as it to mean that you dislike them or you hate them. That's just the way it works. So now this young lady is learning. This is why I don't save hoes for public. And this is why I don't save hoes for free. Because they will eat you while you trying to build them up. That's just the way it's going to go. So that young lady learned. You got to find a tribe of other women who are not victims to be able to have these real conversations with. The average woman is like this. Blah, 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 I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. They create their own little bubble. And they say, it's whatever I say it's going to be. Whatever I manifest it to be. Okay, girl, whatever. And that once you leave that conversation with them girls, the reality still stands outside of that. So let's pull this up. The glasses are going on, baby. And you know when the glasses go on, honey, I mean business. All right. Let me get my screen shared and play the video for y'all. Here we go. This creator is named B. Mac Wrights.
Call it what you want, but I do not believe a woman who is out of shape deserves to be in a relationship. When it comes to love,
baby, be quiet. I have 6 chairs around my dinner table. Pick one and have a seat. How are you going to use scripture to promote your vain way of thinking? Bless your little young, unmarried, never had a baby heart. You're just as pretty as you want.
All right, so bless your young, never had a baby, unmarried heart. Then she says, you're just as pretty as you want to be. Women like this literally equate a woman being good looking as her being a bad person. Okay. Bringing up her being pretty, not connecting as to how that, what that had to do with the scenario. Y'all, I got to move my dog. He is once again making the most noise. Give me 2 seconds. Okay, I'm so sorry. Let's restart here. Now, let me tell you the other thing about sisters like this. And this is I'm just going to speak on what it is. You know what I'm saying? She wanted to be super duper condescending and talk down to this girl for, I don't know why. You know what I'm saying? I can't stand when the older women do that to the girls. That girl stated her opinion on her shit. So I'm just kind of match energy here. But unfortunately, women that look like this, I'm going to be honest with y'all, they don't be knowing nothing about men. I'm going to tell you what I know. They really don't. Because in order to know the real behind men, you have to be a certain level of good looking. I'm sorry. This going to sound fucked up. Oh, well. If you're not a certain level of good looking, you never really know men. Because you got to be the type of good looking that the best of the best men will like risk shit for. You know what I'm saying? And girls like this, they don't necessarily have that aesthetic. So there's like a whole side of men and how they move that they tend to not understand. Okay. In my group, we always talk about how being a wife is a thing you need to be humble about. Because most men don't marry and stay with like their dream woman. They don't. Most men marry out of timing, convenience, happenstance, circumstance, might as well, self-doubt. She has connections or things that can put him on. Like very rarely will a man like just marry like his dream woman. Like this is the woman I just love. She do it for me. She's my type. And a lot of times when you do see a man marry that woman, it's after him and this kind of woman divorce and he go and get the second wife. After he's established himself, he's already raised a family. His next marriage is more so like a companionship marriage. Those are when men typically like marry their dream woman. But I really dislike when women like this, you know, you're sitting here telling the girl, oh, you're never had a baby, unmarried. Oh, you're just as pretty as you can be, but you sound stupid. Like, first of all, I hope you're not about to try to say a man getting you pregnant or staying around for 20 plus years is why you suddenly know better about this subject. Can we normalize letting a woman just stand on her own opinion and her own merit and not having it for women to have it contribute to whether or not a man knocked you up or stayed around? Okay, come be honest with you. We'll get more into that as the video progresses. But it's very important to notice the first thing she found it important to say. Okay, and I always can tell the direction something is going when a woman finds the need to say, well, yeah, you look real good, but you're just as pretty as you can be. But you know what I'm saying? Like, attractive women never say that to each other, ever. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't even see other women's beauty in that way because you don't see other women's beauty as a threat. You see other women's beauty more so in a as we should. So the minute a woman is going against another woman in some type of argument or debate and she mentions like, yeah, you pretty, but oh, I don't want to hear, I don't trust shit else she finna say. Because everything she's about to say is going to be rooted in protecting whatever she's told herself about herself. The minute she say, you're just as pretty as you can be, that automatically I know that she thinks that you're prettier than her. She automatically in her mind has set that girl as a standard. And now everything that come out her mouth is going to be whatever make her feel as though this girl reminded me of where I'm falling short. If we're going to have a conversation. That is, and I'm going to always compare women and their beauty to men and their money, always. So imagine if man to man, they having a debate or conversation and the man says, just because you got all that money don't mean. Men with money already know, time to go. It's giving you in danger. The minute a man be like, man must be nice. When women say that, that's the equivalent of men telling each other must be nice. It's a statement of entitlement, contempt, jealousy. Let's be so for real. Okay. So let's pay attention. Women with this mentality, I'm just going to hold your hand when I say this, is a huge component of what I mean by the women who make it across and then they cut the bridge so the rest of the women can't get across. When y'all get on this internet and openly admit that you ain't doing your best physically, all because you tend to get with men who needed you for a certain image. There's a guy here in Atlanta, he a promoter, honey. He get right on Instagram with his wife that look like this. He get right on Instagram with her. Yes, my wife. She got a good job and shit. Make him look good, honey. Baby, you see a nigga in the street, he with a bad bitch every time, with a smile from ear to ear, enjoying what he really enjoyed. And I'd be like, and see the wife he posts on Instagram, I said, she'll be the main one make a video of this saying, my man been around 20 years, girl. I think wives just should not say that. Your marriage going good, let it be that. Please don't do that whole, yeah, I kept him around this long. Please don't do that. Men have to build where they go 9 times out of 10. 9 times out of 10, he got with you because you had a good job, because you had good credit. So you could be the sign if I can't other. A video just went viral like a few months ago of a guy that literally got on TikTok and was like, listen, I don't get with my type. My type is light-skinned Instagram baddie, and they just cost too much, and they stress me out, and I like them too much. So I just date women that ain't really my type. That way I hold all the power. They're telling you. So when you use how long, look how long he been around as a measurement, yikes. Yikes. Them men don't care about that. Okay. And we're going to get more into that as it's progressing. She bring up other things. Okay, let's let her get back into what she's saying.
As you want to be. And I can tell you probably thought you ate when you posted that video. But sweetie, it's obvious that you need some spiritual protein. I used to think that I knew everything when I was your age too. Boy, I do not miss being that stupid. But keep on living, baby, because you just got here. In the meantime, let mama share some wisdom with you. Being emotionally, physically, and spiritually fit is not always reflected by how you look on the outside to you.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's the first step. Now, I know what y'all gonna do, because by now I am beginning to learn basic bitch language. I know now what y'all gonna say every single time. I know it. I get ahead of it now. Y'all are gonna say, so just because you're skinny, you're a good person. I already know what y'all gonna say. No, just because you're skinny doesn't mean you're a good person. And no one said skinny, people said in shape. There's also a difference. No, being skinny does not mean you're a better person. However, it is impossible to have true self-love, true survival instincts. Your survival instincts are extremely indicative to how healthy you are spiritually. Okay. So when your survival instincts, you can't put down a burger to save your own life. Spiritually, you are unwell. When you're feeding into gluttony, lack of discipline, yes, that does mean you're spiritually unwell. Yes, your outside 100% reflects how you are spiritually. It's not saying attractive in shape people are automatically doing well spiritually. However, there's a flow chart here. Step 1, how are you looking? That says a lot. You don't care about yourself to, try or do your best. Some of y'all been looking a mess for decades. It's not even like y'all had a bad season. You've been always looking basic, always looking a mess. So no, yes, the first step is, there's a lot going on here. So no, you really got to get that together before the next step can happen. And that is okay. It's much better to understand that and accept that than to run from that. Okay. It's all right. The way you look tells us the first thing, period, about what's going on inside, period. Stop saying, well, skinny don't mean you're a good person. Stop that. Once again, that's the control issues. Once again, that is the wanting exact results for action you took. And that's not how life goes. Life is a risk. Every day you'll do things and it might fail. It may win, it may not. Okay. So don't have that loser mentality that says, if I'm not going to be guaranteed the outcome, I'm not going to put in the effort.
It's an inside thing. Besides, I know people twice your size and twice your age that could run circles around you, no doubt. And do love.
She says she knows people twice her size and twice her age that can run circles around her. In what way? What do you mean? That woman was beautiful, young, and in shape. What would a woman twice her size and twice her age run around circles with her with? Besides, you have more in your 401k, unless you're talking about finances, which says a lot as well. But it's like y'all just be saying stuff. You just be echoing these sentiments. But when you really break down what y'all are saying, you're not even saying nothing. They can run circles around her. How? and if someone's twice your age, or are you talking about mentally? Well, anybody twice someone's age, 9 times out of 10 will run circles around. I don't get what y'all say things. It's like, have we thought this through?
A pretty face and a tight body, but they will not live with a woman who has an ugly attitude or spirit. You don't get to say who does.
So she says, yes, men do love a tight body and a pretty face, but they won't live around a woman with a bad spirit. That indirectly insinuates, like I said, y'all got to clock what they saying, that looking good make you a bad person. Because here's a crazy idea. Hear me out. What if you can be both? See how they indirectly say that you got to choose? You either are basic looking and a good person, or you're good looking, but you must be bad on the inside. They're trying to tell the young girls that it's impossible to look good and, oh my God, be a good person on the inside. That's crazy to sell that story to these girls as though that's some difficult feat because it was difficult for you. You see what I'm saying? You got to see what they're saying without saying it to see the truth.
And who does not deserve to be in a relationship. Unless you're a medical physician, you don't get to say who's in and who's out of shape.
Oh, please. Oh my God. This is so ridiculous. Oh, stop. Unless you're a doctor, you don't get to say who's out of shape and who's not. Ma'am, I don't need to spend a day in college to look at you. I can tell by your hand. I can tell by your forearm. I can tell by your chin that you're out of shape. I don't know. Why do y'all think that out of shape is like a opinion type of thing? It ain't no opinion. Okay. We can tell. You do not have to be a doctor to tell if someone's out of shape. Just stop. Just stop. But see, if you just say it in a real condescending tone and dangle a husband in front of them, well, I must know what I'm talking about. I have 10 husbands. Nah, baby, when you really break down what you're saying, what? You got to be a medical doctor to say somebody out of shape. Come on now. See what I mean by they create a delusional world to make each other feel more comfortable? And what good does this solve besides just making less competition for you? You see what I'm saying?
Being skinny does not mean you're healthy or attractive. Besides, there are a lot of...
Oh my God. She said being skinny does not mean you're healthy or attractive. That's insane to say. Once again, look at the underlying problem. I demand a result. If I'm skinny, then y'all better say I'm attractive. If I'm skinny, I better also be in shape, period. If I'm not getting that, I'm not doing it. Being skinny doesn't mean you're attractive, and it doesn't mean you're in shape. Oh my God. That's like a man saying having money doesn't mean, okay, that you'll be able to pay your bills. That's exactly what that means. Actually, yes, it does. Okay.
Of us who are comfortable in our grown women bodies. While you're...
She said, so girls like this will say that they're comfortable in their grown woman bodies. And I'm telling y'all right now, these are the same women where if you come around them, ooh, especially if they with their man, oh my God. Oh, we're comfortable in our bodies. Then, girl, you come in proximity between them and their man, child, they are rolling their eyes. You like, hey, how y'all doing? Hey, they look at each other. And then they say something condescending, and say something facetious, or they'll do the other thing where they're trying to be a fake girl. So they're like, oh, and they compliment you and they mention your looks immediately. They either get real snarky, real short, real, oh, hey, they either get like that, or they really try real hard to make it seem like I'm totally cool with a woman that I wish I had enough discipline to look like came around. They're like, oh my God, girl, you are so gorgeous. Oh my God, y'all, ain't she so pretty? Wow, look at you. Look at that little waist right there. Look at you. Oh my God, look at that makeup. How do you do all that? Look at all that. I don't know how to do all that. It's a lot. That's what they do. So they're lying when they say they're comfortable in a body that a woman is comfortable in. She ain't got to say it. When you see a woman that look good, you ain't got to wonder, I wonder if she's comfortable in that body. Hell yeah, she comfortable. You see this? Nigga, hell yeah, real comfortable. Okay. Red flag number 82. we're comfortable in our skin. Okay.
Making vain videos about how a person should look. We're out here getting degrees, running businesses, and raising families.
And that's why your husband be with you 20 years. I'm glad you said it. That's why your husband be with you 20 years. And then he go out in the street and get his real woman that actually he like and have him cheesing ear to ear and make him happy and excited. Exactly. See, now you're getting it. That's what he want. The woman who will prioritize going and get that degree and be his sign if I can't other. And I know she gonna stick around. She's less of a risk. Like that brother said, I don't date my type. Too risky, too expensive. I get my heart broke. So yeah, that's why they stay around. He don't want to leave you, have to pay you off, pay them kids off, be the bad guy, get a new bitch. Now he got to figure out how to have enough money to pay y'all off, take care of you, get a new. Not gonna do that. They're gonna just stay around, and these are the long as he come home type women. And they literally, you'll be so surprised. You'll never know this side, but you'll be so surprised. And that man will still come home every day smiling, like nothing's wrong. He don't care. That's why he married you. He want a woman, less risk, less competition. That bitch, she got her degree. I can fall back on her. The first thing men say when you even speak about providing for a woman is, well, what if I fall off? Is she going to be able to help? That's the first thing they think of. They more insecure than y'all know. And so, yeah, that's the woman they'll marry, stay 20 years. You're game goofy. You don't know the game. There's a side of the game you'll never know. If you don't see it for yourself, you just never see how you'll never know. That's how it's going to go. You're going to go to school, get them degrees, make that money, go to work. Yeah. And now you doing all that to the point where you feel like I've done all that. So now I'm too tired to go to the gym. That's why we're in the gym now. Now I did all that. So that will be my contribution. And my contribution won't just be genuinely just being beautiful and sexy and a man just being like, oh, I'm just so happy to have her around. That's why you put the emphasis in, yeah, I'm going to raise my family and I'm going to go to work hard and get my degree. Okay. All right. Inevitably, if that's your focus as a woman and not your beauty, your body, I already know the type of man 9 times out of 10 you with. I'm not accusing this woman. I don't know this woman, but I'm just saying 9 times out of 10, when they do that, like, oh, don't worry, but it's the inside that counts. Yeah, my man been around 20 years. He want a woman that raised them kids and go to school and go to work. Okay, well, you just answered your own question. I don't think women understand how many men will do that. They'll stay around for that. Or y'all already got a lot of kids, so they don't want other men around their kids. So they be like, fuck that. I'm staying. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, and if that's the case, that's fine. But I don't think that the woman should then in turn say stuff like this or disparage young women or use the husband as a measuring stick. You get what I'm saying? Let's continue.
Lemon. That's what I'm missing. I'm missing lemon. Mama bears who put on a little extra thickness over the years possess a strength that you
Next red flag, thickness. There it go. That's the coat. Thick. Stop. Just stop. Thick is when you still, you in shape still, but you got a little recoil back there. There's some recoil. Thick is when you got a little. Thick is when you do this, that's thick. Okay, you're not obese. Everything is still, but there's just, there's something there. Stop using that word. Majority of y'all is not thick, baby. Okay, it's just obesity. It's okay. This is the first step to our healing. Stop saying thick and look yourself in the mirror and say obese. Look to your neighbor and say obese. Obesity. Obesity. I'm gonna Hyundai. I'm gonna Tesla. Hyundai. Okay. Let's stop with they put on a little thickness. Stop. Okay. If you can't at any time see the line above your vagina, if there's anything flapping over that, if that's getting blocked in any way, stop it. That's not thick. Okay. From where your pubic hair ends to your belly begins, if that line right there, you can't see it standing straight up, stop talking about thick. That is not thick. Okay. Maybe we need measurements and guidelines will help here.
Get at the gym, sweetie. Get some maternal instinct that's a danger to be messed with. We possess a wisdom that you have yet to walk into, but you should look forward to it. You can't talk about how other people look when you have diarrhea of the mouth. a whole new level of letting yourself go that you will eventually come to understand.
I want you all to, you know how to say a hit dog won't holler. So if an attractive woman makes a general video with her opinion on her account, which is where you're supposed to express your opinion, they'll say, oh, you're talking about people's looks. That girl said, I think women need to be in shape. It's their first step into deserving to be in a relationship. I think the word deserving might be a little extreme for me. I think whatever you work for, you deserve. Okay. It's between you and God, what you deserve half the time. I wouldn't say deserving, but I will say that women who are covered in a relationship should 100% have the space, freedom, and their willpower within themselves to show up for themselves. That's why the whole going to work, going to school, paying half the bills, helping him build module doesn't work. Because inevitably now you're so busy doing all that you've decided that the good looks, they can't coexist. So now it's, oh, well, some of us go to work and pay our bills and some of y'all look good. That's why the women are saying we don't have the wherewithal to do both. Okay, that's why that system, it don't work out. Now you're man with somebody else that he actually like because you too busy working, paying half the bills to really look good and be fun. And when you should be able to do both. And that's what the covering is for. That's why wives who are truly covered, they automatically just in shape look good because the covering allows them to do that. But it's a problem when you cover and you still can't find the capacity to take care of your number one job, which is your beauty. Okay. So I'm not sure, how we got into this sector of it, into Mama Bear and all that. The girl was speaking on in shape. I don't know how we got to they're stronger mothers than you. I don't really understand that part, but let's just let this finish up.
You said in one of your videos that there were women who got offended because you stepped on some toes. I think they got in their feels because of your audacity, because you're another youngin with an iPhone and a social media account.
Well, that's the point I was trying to make is she spoke in general about women and then women will comment and be like, you're talking about people's looks when she's speaking in general. Okay, I don't think y'all understand this. When someone speaks in general, they're not pointing you out because you feel guilty because it applies to you. Now you say, oh, you're talking about my looks. That person made a general statement. They don't even know you. And then they show themselves and they show the insecurity by this woman making a general statement. And then y'all saying she's talking about people's looks when that's not at all what it was.
Who thinks that you can play God in the lives of others. The videos that you're making right now, sweetie, are not going to age well for you. I'm talking from experience. I've been humbled by God and it wasn't fun, girl. This is good. This is coming from a woman who's been happily married for the past 29 years, a wonderful husband, and gorgeous children. I'm not trying to be mean, I promise you. I am saying this out of tough love.
Oh, you were definitely trying to be mean. Let's stop. Let's not do this. You see that manipulation? I hate when they do that. They throw so many rocks and be like, I ain't trying to. Yes, you will. Stop. Stand in it. You know what I'm saying? Stand in it. You try to be mean, that's okay. Just say that. It's so manipulative. I'm not trying to be mean. You're absolutely trying to be mean. Stop. Let's just stop the cap.
But if I stepped on any of your toes, it was because I meant to, with every single ounce and pound of extra fluff. You might catch that one tomorrow.
She thought she killed it, boy. Look, she thought, yeah, I showed her. Okay, girl. All right, honey. She said, I'm stepping on your toes with every ounce of fluff. Okay, girl. Okay, hit dog. Okay, lassie, child. Okay. All right, baby. I hope that's a weight loss tea. You see what I'm saying? Is that Keisha KR weight loss tea? So this is why I have my Patreon, because this is what majority of women's spaces present to you. This is all you got. Bunch of women lying to each other, making it personal. You know, in my group, even if it applies to you, even if you ain't shit in that area, we can still talk about it. Ain't nobody bigger than the program. You don't get to structure everything around protecting your shortcomings. So this is why I practice tribalism. This is why I practice community. This is why I attract the women I attract. So you can get away from, there's 5,000 comments on that video, all agreeing with her. So when you want to be the one woman who says, everything in this video was in regards to controlling a man, did nobody else see that video and think this is not it? And none of that made sense. And that was the most basic I've ever heard. That's why I have my group. For the women who, you don't want someone telling you thick. I can't tell you how many women I talk to, whether we do a consultation, whether we meet on the street and we have a conversation and she asks me about her weight. And I'm like, yeah, baby, you obese. Do you know how many women be like, this is the first time I've ever heard it? Because even in their own family, within their own mama, their own friends, once again, half of the time they look the same way. And so now your friends and your mama will tell you thick and you look just fine, because inevitably telling you that you're obese means admitting that they're also obese. And they will sit there and lie to you, let you believe something about yourself that is not the case in order to protect themselves from having to put down the biscuits, put down the rack of lamb. And at this point, put down the Ozempic. Y'all neck is loose from that Ozempic. All right. We watched a movie called Jawbreaker at movie night in my group. And there's a girl in the movie who is super lame. And the it girls offer her a spot in like the pretty girl, it girl group, and offer to like give her a makeover, show her how to look good. And that girl was like this, ready to sell her soul to go from being a lame to go from being a baddie. It's the same as, I'll use the example again, broke man with rich man. Broke man may not have the hard work, may not have the wherewithal, may not have the ethic, the mindset to get rich, but trust, they want to be. They wish they were. And if the rich man at a second gave him a pill to take to make him rich too, he would take it. He might come with a cope as to, men don't sit around typically trying to tell us about, oh, well, my wife should still be happy and she's still around, even if I don't make a lot. Okay. Instead, most healthy husbands, they just are always looking to make more money. They're always networking to make more money. They don't say, well, at this level, I keep my wife around, so I don't need to make no more. No, they constantly look to elevate themselves. You see more husbands in the gym than wives, and their look ain't even the first thing on their list. So if the men be in the gym, if the men are constantly looking for ways to make more money, they always want to upgrade your home, upgrade your ring, make more money for the family. They always want to do that. Why do you do the bare minimum in your looks of the woman and then say, well, he's still around? That's what the young lady meant by, do you deserve it? What they're saying is, we want to see you put in the same effort that your man's putting in, since y'all the ones that want to use a man as the measure in this conversation. Well, if y'all man going to work, always making more money, always increasing, how come you can't return the favor? We want him to be equally yoked. If you want to, if that's the measuring tool you want to use, okay? And men seeing women like this is why they're like, so basically I married a girl, she feels as though I'm mean and a bad guy if I have any expectations of her looks. Then I have my kids with her. I'm not saying the men don't love her. The men love you. So then when she finds out I fell in love with her, she's going to take advantage of that. And knowing when a man loves you, he don't leave, he stay around. So then she's going to take advantage of the fact that I love her, love my children. And then I'm just stuck with this. And if I even mention her looks, I'm a bad guy. And they're like, hell no. The men have several reasons for their, resilience to marriage now. But a big part of it is that these older women who've been married a long time get on the internet and tell other women, don't worry about looking good. Don't worry about doing all this. Get your degree instead. And it's the inside that counts. And why, if I was a man, I'd be like, I don't want to sign up for that either. And then you are the number one worst man in the world if you remotely tell your woman like, hey, can you lose weight? These hoes rather divorce y'all than lose weight before they lose weight for y'all. Telling y'all what I know. They get divorced and be like, after the divorce, now they go to the gym. That's crazy. So women like this with these type of mindsets and weaponizing the abuse of their husbands against young women, weaponizing the lack of discipline, that ain't it. You need to worry about being the best self for you. You need to worry about being healthy for you. Contrary to popular belief, no, you cannot be obese and still be healthy. No, you cannot. If you are obese, automatically you are putting double the work on your body. That's why you age quicker. And that's why the longer you stay obese, the longer you stay obese. Because your organs ain't operating at 100% because they're weighed down. Okay. So we as Black women have to stop the delusion. We need to stop this alternative reality and these video essays about why it should be okay. Have some type of real accountability and simply do better. Stop eating so much. Get active. Stop letting your value be in your ability to stay at home, raise kids, go to school, and work a job. Stop that. And that inevitably will cause the men to have to step their game up and stop marrying who can stabilize them and instead who they can stabilize. Letting your woman looking good motivate you and keep you on your toes to stay on your game. A lot of men, they're scared of that pressure, okay? So, for that young lady, girl, stop trying to save these hoes. Honey, baby girl, if you are not in the victim mentality, if you understand the real, if you are that type of rare woman who is willing to put that work in and say, no, it ain't about no man, it's about me. I'm not going to not do for myself based upon whatever level I get a man to stick around. Keep doing you, baby girl. Don't listen to these women like this, okay? And I would love to have you in Death Row, but we need girls like you, okay? We ain't got time for all that. All right, y'all, please let me know y'all thoughts in the comments. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel. Like the video, and I'll see y'all on the next one.